I think those are masks. Uh, it's got antlers, so
must take my leave.
By the gods, fear it, Lawrence.
Oh, this guy's so fucking gay, dude. I think that's
Shut up.
God, man.
Thanks, guys, and hail the 199.
number one.
Good call.
Thank you, Albert Not a Retro, for the $10. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We got I am Brockatron with a $10. Damn. Mike takes off his glasses and we can't even recognize he's a Canadian communist. The epic communist. P.S. We deserve all the flame for the bullshit that happens up here. What's up, Jay, Dan, and Beardo? Jeremy.
What's
Hey,
up?
what's up?
That's
What
why
up,
I would
dude?
never willingly go back to Canada for any reason.
Brockatron
I can
with
go
the
to
10.
Detroit and look at them, and they're always looking over at us.
Thank you, Brockatron.
I can
with
go
the
to
10.
Detroit and look at them, and they're always looking over at us. Like they want to come over here, but they can't swim, so they can't. Yeah.
Canadians
Hey,
not good
100%.
swimmers.
No.
Breaking. Robert Pattinson says the new script is so good for the Batman 2.
Hey, I doubt it.
Man, I
I
mean,
believe that when
obviously,
my shit
I'm
turns
hyped.
presidents,
I don't believe
maybe.
obviously,
Something like now, please. Because
City, Beardo, rip.
Bruce
Have a
Campbell.
good-
Yeah, I've pretty much been in like every game that they've made. Oh my god. Fucking retarded is that? Retarded is that? Oh. Oh, okay. Wonder if rats were that big, would we eat them like we eat cows? Probably just classic Souls. Straightforward to the point. I also like Runes. Runes is nice as well. I'd say. I mean, lore wise, that's from Elden Ring. I'd say lore wise, Runes is actually pretty cool because in the lore, whenever you get runes, you're actually getting fragments of the Elden Ring after it was shattered. So I always thought that was pretty neat. Fight that guy. God, how fucking good the audio design this game is. Just love hearing the footsteps, dude. Yeah. Bullets. It's just down there. So these areas basically the equivalent of like the dungeons in Elden Ring, where you have to flip the lever to unlock the door. Yeah, that's where they got that from. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they're called catacombs, yeah. Oh my god. What the fuck, man? Bro, that guy is a fucking acrobat. Yeah. Nice. Look at this fucking piece of shit, dude. Yeah. Hold on. Just gotta concentrate here a sec. So long ago, there was this place called Yarna. Its inhabitants discovered a holy medium, they call it. Basically, just catacombs underneath the city. Where an ancient race of beings lived called the Thumerians, and the Thumerians were an ancient race that managed to get in contact with the Great Ones. So they're like eldritch gods, like Aeolian-like gods. And yeah, when the people of Yarnum discovered this, they started to research the Thumerians, their race, and then they discovered the old blood, they call it, down in one of the catacombs. So they started experimenting with the blood, and they found that it has healing properties. So basically, everybody heard wind of this and then came to Yarnum, and the church in Yarnum started using the old blood to heal and do miracles. And then, yeah, so that carried on for a while. Eventually, um, eventually people started to notice that the blood wasn't just healing people, but it was transforming people into beasts. And that's when they started to employ hunters. So that's what we are, to basically hunt down the beasts and kill them, while all at the same time keeping secrecy. So people wouldn't find out that it's the blood turning people into beasts. But people still use the blood without knowing it turns them into beasts. And then, yeah, from there, kind of discover more through the game. Yeah.
0-2 again. Weakly hit to the right side, and Potts can't make the play, and now he's limping and down. 0-2 again. Weakly hit to the right side, and Potts can't make the play, and now he's limping and down. Ooh, and Potts falls, and that is going to be a balk.
He tried to release the baseball to avoid the balk.
Oh, my.
Load 0-2.
Ooh, and Potts. Two again. Weakly hit to the right side, and Potts can't make the play, and now he's limping and down. 0-2 again.
The only really thing winners gets is they don't have to play that match to get into the finals, but the team that gets into the finals gets to go in warm and fresh off some momentum. I mean, you just secure a grand final spot, you're pretty amped up. What's weird, okay, one thing I don't get though is apparently the league didn't let us scrim Huntsman before the grand final. So while they were playing in the losers final, we were trying to stay warm by playing our academy team, and apparently that was shut down. That's something I don't fucking get with any ounce of me. Very weird. The only really
Trời ơi, sao mà thử thách con dữ vậy?
What is this?
Xin phù hộ cho con đi.
Is this literally just a guy
Sẽ không làm gì sai trái nữa.
watching girls get on it? Okay. Man.
Nice, dog. Do you see that? Nice. Fuck that.
Welcome. What is it you... Very well.
Oh.
Oh, hello. You've come for my blood. Oh, good. Come close, dear. I knew you'd be back for more.
Oh, thank you. So, that lady, you told her about this place. Well, she actually talks to me. Well, only now and then, and she don't mince words. But she's a kind one. I can tell. A good woman.
See this guy, dog? That's how, see me? Nice. Oh. Everyone's kind of fucked. Yeah, everyone's kind of fucked in this world. Yeah. What were you and your dad talking about?
Oh, good to see you safe. Now, let's think up something to discuss. Just tell me what piques your interest. As you know, the Healing Church is the fountainhead of blood healing. Well, I'm a simple hunter, quite unfamiliar with the ins and outs of the institution. But I have heard that the holy medium of blood healing is venerated in the main cathedral, and that counselors of the old church reside in the high stratum of the cathedral ward. If you seek blood healing, and the church is willing, you should pay them a visit. Bergenworth is an old place of learning, and the Tomb of the Gods, carved out below Yharnam, should be familiar to every hunter. Well, once a group of young Bergenworth scholars discovered a holy medium deep within the tomb. This led to the founding of the Healing Church and the establishment of blood healing. In this sense, everything sacred in Yharnam can be traced back to Bergenworth. But today, the college lies deep within a tangled wood, abandoned and decrepit. And furthermore, the Healing Church has declared Bergenworth forbidden ground. It's unclear how many of its scholars remain alive, but only they know the password that allows passage through the gate. Ah, there's something I want to tell you. A bit of wisdom from the eminent master Logarius. Once, a scholar betrayed his fellows at Bergenworth and brought forbidden blood back with him to Canehurst Castle. It was there that the first of the inhuman Vilebloods was born. The Vilebloods are fiendish creatures who threaten the purity of the Church's blood healing. The ruler of the Vilebloods is still alive today. And so, to honor my master's wishes, I search for the path to Canehurst Farewell. It has been a pleasure. May the good luck guide your way.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Nice, dude. So did you just witness that? So I come down the stairs. This door's closed. I knock on the door. Somebody answers me asking for a password. I give the password. I open the door. The person's already dead. So who the fuck was talking to me? This world is fucked, dude. Already dead. This world is cursed. Oh, fuck. Fucking killed me, dude. It fucking killed me. Can you stream, dog? Oh, shit.
Oh,
that it is distracting
no.
to other comrades. I have autism. This is distracting to me. I would like to ask our fellow delegates, please, to not wave around your signs, especially.
Look at them put their hands in the air. They're doing the jazz hands. Look at this shit. Oh my God, watch.
To other comrades, I have autism. This is distracting to me. I would like to ask our fellow delegates, please, to not wave around your signs, especially during voting. Thank you.
Retarded people are always going to exist. That's just understood. Retarded people are always going to be here. But you don't cater to them like this. You teach them societal rights from wrongs. And if you're not comfortable, that's fine. You don't have to fucking be around people. Like, for instance, I'm not a big convention guy. I know we went to MegaCon. We had a great time. We had our panel, and I didn't even really, like, I walked the floor a couple of times, but, like, I'm just not a big convention guy. I never have been. But I understand what a convention is when I go, and I mentally prepare. This is going to be the convention, and I'm going to have to deal with it. It is what it is. Am I supposed to go in there and say, hey, everyone here, you need to cater to me? No, like, fuck it. Just whatever. It is what it is. But Jeremy is introverted. I don't know if I'm introverted or not. It's just my problem with conventions is not the convention itself. It's the sheer chaos that the convention brings. I also don't like to be in a situation where I can't get out of the situation at my own pace if I want. Like, it is tough to get through a massive convention, especially one like MegaCon. And the parking is chaotic. Everything is crazy. Food lines are out of control. It's just wild. It's just a wild, wild situation. Jeremy is safety focused. Yes, that is really what it comes down to. And I don't feel in control at a convention like I do in most places that I'm at. I feel very in control. The places I'm most comfortable is where I feel in control. Whether it's a mall, whether it's a Walmart, whether it's, City Walk Universal or a small, retro game store, I have enough where I can control the situation around me within reason. Whereas a convention, hell, we almost got caught up in a fucking stampede a couple of years ago at a convention because a fucking Eevee held up the line on the escalator and we almost died because the Eevee is there at the bottom of the escalator, couldn't get off the escalator. We're on this single escalator where if you jumped off the side, you were going to die. And the escalator just kept pressing forward and people just kept piling on. And it got to a point where I'm like, oh shit, this is how I die. Because a fucking Eevee Pokemon, a cosplay, got stuck on a fucking escalator. This is how it's going to be. Like, yeah, YouTube grifter, MAGA grifter dies on a stampede on an escalator because a fucking Pokemon cosplay got stuck. That's what it's going to say. So it was close. It was close. But yeah, man. Oh, I thought you meant Pokemon Go. Did you just mention Pokemon Go in my chat? Did you just mention Pokemon Go in my chat?
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
That is one of the worst things that has ever been said in the history of humanity. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Oh my goodness. What a terrible Terrible, terrible line right there. All right, here's what you guys said earlier. Eric Trump. First look at the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library is officially here. Over the past 6 months, I've poured my heart and soul into this project with my incredible team at Trump. This landmark on the water of Miami, Florida will stand as a lasting testament to an amazing man, an amazing developer, and the greatest president our nation has ever known. These images have never been seen by the public until today. Look at there. Here we go. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll certainly visit this when it's done. I don't know what the timeline is on this. That is insane. Avengers Tower. That's pretty damn cool.
You gotta start an OnlyFans, dog. Make some money, dog.
Now, somebody said, is this AI? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, this woman's head isn't on backwards. That's actually her. Like, that's actually, this is all real. This whole video is real. And is real. So you see this woman in the purple dress. Yeah, her head is actually on backwards. So I can't believe they didn't catch that. I'm just saying, Eric Trump. Okay, I can't believe you didn't catch that one. All right.
I think it's right here. Yeah, he's spamming close right, close right. He's saying close right, but Paco slides in and looks left and starts shooting the left. You know what I'm saying? It's just like weird little things like that.
Both very well rounded. Strength across.
All right. There you go. There you go. That's pretty awesome, though. That looks cool, man. That looks awesome. Somebody said wood. Where are we at? I got that one. John Wayne says, for those curious, look up season 3, episode 11 of the TV show Lex, Girl Town. It came out 26 years ago, and exactly like that Canadian
so it all
communist
comes down to
town
this
hall,
then. The last
it
day.
takes place on a planet fire hell. Really? All right, I'm gonna have to look that up. Miniature Realm Thing says a room full of collectivists demanding everyone cater to individuals. Why is communism failing? I know, man. It really is funny to watch that whole thing, man. My goodness, what a disaster. Maximus Americas for a 199. Thank you. Phil says, point of privilege. I can't take it anymore. You and me both, brother. Brain Rot Fest says, greetings, 199 comrades. Point of privilege. I have a rare condition where I was born without pronouns, so please be mindful to not list your pronouns because it triggers those without pronouns. Dude, what if somebody said that? What if somebody said that? That would be so good. That would be amazing. Oh, that would be so funny. Maximus Americas for $10.99 says, point of privilege, I need you to turn off the camera and mic because you're hurting our eyes and ears. Only APL or Sweeney from now on. Point of privilege, I would love to show you APL or Sweeney, but the rules are the rules. The rules are the rules, and I can't change the rules. I wish I could. I wish I had the ability to change the rules, because I certainly would, but I can't. Kevin says Batman put a busted up bullet together. Remember? I do remember in The Dark Knight. He did. Devil Hunter for 20 says Jared Prime. Are we going to Pokemon Go to the Trump Presidential Library? Hell yeah, we are. I don't know when it's supposed to be open, but we absolutely are going to do that. 100%. That's going to be fun whenever that does open. Daniel Moore says this guy would be a better Snape than Papa. Peter says, what the fuck is that, Tax? Daniel Moore says, wait, do they literally have a physical victim card? Probably, knowing these idiots. King Solo Wing says, point of IDOT, it's ma'am. It is ma'am. You say what now?
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
Never gets old. Never. Fifth Down Sports says, what's with the people who ask questions at a panel? Only a crazy person would ask a question to a panelist, and a crazier person would ramble. And we have none of those people at our panels, all right? Everybody at our panel is normal, respectful, calm. They don't drag out the questions. They don't ramble. Every person at our panels, 100% respectful. Like, we have the best people. The most respectful people. Fifth Down Sports would never do anything like that. Ehep says that they have superheroes. Podium Lady can hear colors. CG says, yes, you found it, Jeremy. That's what I was telling you about last stream. It got so bad they ended the meeting. Yeah, I remember covering that. I just it didn't click when you said it to me earlier, but I remember covering that when it happened. Absolutely phenomenal to watch that bullshit. Narco says, we all need to go to one of these events and troll the fuck out of our fellow comrades. We could shut one of these events down immediately. We could, but sadly, they would build such a narrative out of that it just, I would never encourage people to actually do that. I know you're saying it's a joke, but like, because they would just use that for that victim narrative. 100%. That's exactly what they would do. Let's see. Zachary says, I can watch these for hours, seeing leftists in their natural habitat. I feel like I'm at the zoo. 100%. Richard Simmons says, after watching this video, I think the asteroid hitting Earth is a good idea. Barrison says, all that comes to mind at the moment is what Johnny Lawrence said near the end of season 1 of Cobra Kai. Fucking love Cobra Kai so much. Right, the guy says, point of personal privilege. I can't stand these dorks. Tommy says, if they don't like hissing, imagine if these dorks ran into the Globo Gym purple cobras. Double knees tap and hiss. Freaking dodgeball. So good. Philip Johnson says, personal point of privilege. Hillary scares me. Tommy says, personal. God dang, y'all in these fucking point of personal privilege. Stop super chatting with that shit. Can we acknowledge Happy Jessica without it looking like an independent woman needs acknowledgement from a white gay man? Daniel Morris says, Black Snake working for the pure blood supremacy pointy hood guys will be interesting. He absolutely will. Point of personal privilege. Fucking hell, man. These people are freaking stupid. Let's see here. Okay, we got that.
Wait, what are you talking about?
All right, I want to play this clip really quick. The Five says Iran has 1 week to meet Trump's ultimatum. 1 week. The Mass Marvel says, quick point of personal privilege. Jeremy can't read tax. Damn it, here we go with that. That was a microaggression.
Week for Iran to make a deal, or their fate is sealed. President Trump warning the regime leaders he hasn't smoked.
I wonder what it's
Then
like
he's
to
ready
have
blow
a
them to smithereens if they
living
don't want
dog.
But we've had regime change. If you look already,
A life worth living.
The one regime was decimated, destroyed. They're all dead. The next regime is mostly dead. And the third regime, we're dealing with different people than anybody's dealt with before. It's a whole different group of people. So I would consider that regime change. We're doing extremely well in that negotiation. But you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up. And we will...
Only Trump. Only Trump.
In that negotiation. But you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up. And we will...
Is it in man's nature to destroy everything around him?
The White House says President Trump is leaving all options on the table.
What is your nature, sir?
Officials say this will help them unleash a major offensive if talks fail. Here's Caroline Levitt.
The Pentagon has always stated 4 to 6 weeks estimated timeline for Operation Epic Fury. We're on day 30 today. So again, you do the math.
And if you are on an island with Megan Fox, what would your nature be
Operation
then?
Epic Fury, which I will reiterate, destroy the Iranian Navy, destroy their ballistic missiles, dismantle their missile and drone
And if she resists,
their proxies throughout the course of this operation, and then of course preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon.
But despite U.S. forces laying waste to target after target, Democrats are still painting the war as an abject failure.
Well, this is the thing is, it's obvious to me that Trump is very confident in whatever his plans are with Iran.
He's a
And
clapper.
it's also pretty obvious to me that
Clappity clap.
nobody outside of the administration has a fucking clue what Trump is doing, which is exactly how it needs to be. I don't know what his plan is. I mean, I kind of think I understand the bigger perspective of what he's going after, but I don't know the specifics of what he's trying to do. Nobody does. This is exactly how it should be. And he seems so calm about everything. He seems extremely confident and extremely calm while everybody else is freaking out all over the place. What's up, Clip for 10 says the amount of intense emotional anxiety in that room full of Marxists is off the charts. It's pathetic. 100% it is, man. Good Lord. So bad. Little Jim Sailor says point of personal privilege. Jeremy wears Crocs. Damn right I do.
Don't support this administration, period. They've gotten us into what will be looked at as one of the greatest blunders, presidential blunders of our time.
Donald Trump said, we won this war. And so the question for President Trump, who's completely delusional, is if we won the war, why are they preparing to send thousands of more American troops into harm's way?
So, Charlie, it seems like the issue here is you have one side, the Democrats, who are looking at this through a political lens and assume, or basically tell everybody else, that Trump is also looking through this through a political lens, which means they don't know anything about Trump.
Yeah, they've not learned anything in 10 years. And I love what Spartacus said right there. He actually admitted the whole problem for them. He said, I don't support anything that this administration does, period. So therefore, no matter what they did, he would have been against it. They're the two biggest brain dead hot takes.
Hell yes. Jonesy says, I got camo Crocs. Jeremy has convinced me to start wearing them again. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I actually wear the Hey Dudes because Crocs bought them. So so the Hey Dude shoes, these right here. Like the Crocs bought these. So
great.
So I wear these too. So there you go.
Takes that come out of all this. The first one is that somehow like Israel conned Trump into going into war. It's the stupidest thing. Like as if the world's largest economy doesn't have like financial interest in the Strait of Hormuz. Like there aren't actual American interests at play here. But the single biggest idiotic hot take is the idea that Trump did this for political reasons. He doesn't do things like this for political reasons. First of all, politicians never do anything in an election year for political reasons because they don't want to have to pay the price for it in the election.
Wow.
And I think that to me, what it reveals about these people who are saying that he's going to pay a political
That's
price.
amazing, dog.
That he's doing this for, is that those people, those politicians, never do anything except
What you've built, dog. It should be in a museum.
Are they comfortable to wear? Yeah, that's my whole thing, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or what things look like or what's socially acceptable. I just care about comfort. I don't care. Like I did a point in my back in the day,
Museum
phases as a teenager,
retardation.
in my 20s where I cared. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Not one single fuck. Like, why would I? Who gives a shit? I just want to be comfortable and
What did you have for
it's because they believe it's the right thing.
dinner?
That is a great point, Jessica, that he is obviously paying the price in the election. If you look
Nice. He already forgot what a fucking retard,
that
dude.
doesn't actually jibe well with the fact that you guys always say he's doing it for political reasons. No,
thank
he's actually
fucking God, it was a more
spending
difficult
kind of
word, dude.
the goodwill he's had in the bank to make this happen.
Well, he didn't have a ton of goodwill in the bank, actually. And
I'm
yeah, he's
starting to
depleting
think I'm
whatever was
retarded,
left in the
dude.
reservoir.
Cool libertarian mindset. I mean, that's the opposite of libertarians. Libertarians are the
I'm starting to
vegans
think I'm
of
retarded.
politics, where
No, I
they
haven't
need you to
started
understand
to think
everything
that
they
I-
believe and everything they do.
I've been thinking
and
that
they
a
need you to
long
give them
time.
they need positive feedback on their delusions. Like they
Want
don't know how to just
some sockeye salmon?
talk, but they have to let you know. I'm a libertarian, by the way. I just need you to understand that
I guess not,
actually believe
dog.
this and this. And then fucking
Why'd you
ask.
cough like that when I said salmon, dude?
Okay, I don't
the fuck
fucking
is,
care.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
They absolutely need that positive
Nice.
feedback, the validation. Yes.
This guy doesn't
That's
even know how
all
to
they
drink
need.
water,
They
dude.
live for it. That's all they need. They need you to
Guy only knows how to
validate
drink
their
Monster cans
opinion.
or whatever.
And if you
Monster
don't,
energy
when you laugh
drinks.
at them, then they cry and play victims.
Because he's not a politician. I'm glad you agree with Charlie.
He is a new kind of politician, a politician who doesn't care about winning that much, I guess, or who's having more trouble with the facts on the ground than some politicians who came before him. I wasn't going to set any polling, though, but I'm glad we got that out there anyway. A few things that came out of the weekend that I think are important to touch on. Trump was bragging about the 20 tankers that got by the Strait of Hormuz as if that was a big win for the Americans. And none of them were American tankers. They were Pakistani tankers. And that came as a direct result of negotiations between Pakistan and the Iranians. The Iranians like it because they're making more money than they ever have before. And it's an affirmation of the fact that we have been closed out of that conversation. The Wall Street Journal is reporting.
Yes, we did, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. We did watch the other day when Trump had an interview with the Five. And he said the show would be better without Jessica on there. So good. So damn good. Mark of Reality for 20 says that they are so incredibly desperate to say bad things about this special military operation that they kept pushing for it in the first place. That they are, like, I guess my question would be what, because these people are like, hey, this is a new war. And it's like, what actually... Can you define what a war is? I would love for the Panikins to tell me what a war is. So years ago when Trump, what was his name, Soleimani? When Trump took him out, was that a war? Not Jessica Lindstrom. Stop it, Jessica. But was that a war? I'm just curious. So, because the Panikins, I need to understand what exactly is a war, what's a military operation. That would be a good clarification. Narcos is Jeremy. Them crying victim after we troll their conference would make great content, and you know it. Or are you the mage grifter? I absolutely am, 100%, sir, 100%. All right.
That the Iranians launched 2 times more missiles on a daily basis than a week ago. Now that's concerning about their ability to rearm and to rebuild. And Marco Rubio put out a statement talking about the clear objectives. And I think he even said we should write this down. So I did. 1, destruction of Iran's Air Force. 2, destruction of their Navy. 3, severely diminishing their missile launching capabilities. 4, destruction of their factories. We have moved away from what Caroline Levitt was even saying from the podium today because she was talking about nuclear programs. That's not on the list anymore, getting rid of the nuclear material. What happened to eradicating their support for proxy forces? The regime change, what Trump said is ridiculous, like there's a new guy there, so it's a regime change. The regime change was supposed to be a free Iran, right? That these people would be able to actually come out of their houses and have a peaceful existence, and we don't even talk about those things anymore. So, well, Dana tried, and Donald Trump wasn't very interested in that. So, I'm saying that looking at the facts on the ground and not just going with this narrative that because the president wants it to be so, that it's the reality, is objectively the correct thing to do. I'm not saying that's good partisan lens. I'm not saying
You got health insurance.
And I love how you have the virtue signalers out there that are always whining about anything, pretending that they care about something. So again, I talked about this about like these people are like, oh my gosh, these foreign war, like Dave Smith, okay? People like him that virtue signal, like they actually care, all right? And then you have people who are like, our brave soldiers, like they actually care about our brave soldiers. Okay, like they actually care. If they actually
I wish I had car insurance, dog.
The how do I word it? The self-deletion rates every year for our veterans. Do they care about that? Do they
Not enough,
do
dog.
they acknowledge that? If you want to talk about our brave servicemen, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what they go through for this country and how we don't do anything for them. Oh, you motherfuckers don't want to talk about that. But as soon as there's a death that is under Trump's watch that you can use
what is this
to go
conspiracy?
you're all about the brave military. But you don't want to talk about
conspiracy. I won't stand for it.
Thousands and thousands of soldiers that take their own life every year. I don't know exactly how many it is, but it's into the thousands, several thousands per year this happens to. This is a widespread fucking problem that should be addressed by the podcast, bros, but none of these motherfuckers want to talk about dead soldiers unless they can use it for their advantage to say Trump man bad. Pieces of shit. Every single one of them are pieces of shit for only going after it when they can go Trump man back. Pieces of shit. I don't know. Somebody look it up, but it's several thousand per year we average. Let's see. I heard like 22 a day. Good Lord, that's a lot, man. That is a lot.
Everything that he's going to do. Look at our European allies. Look at the things that I just talked about. The way that the economy is performing, and I think it speaks for itself.
So, Jesse, everything Jessica said is independent of her feelings about Trump.
Yeah,
just like all the
partisan at all.
There's nothing partisan there. I'm glad that we got that out of the way.
I'm glad she said the Iranian economy is doing better than ever. The Iranian economy is doing well.
They're making more on
smithereens, Jessica.
You don't think they're making more money from?
No, they're not making that much money.
My penis.
Donald Trump is like the American eagle. On the one hand, he's got an olive branch. On the other hand, he's got a bundle of arrows. I don't know what's going to happen. I can wake up Friday and there could either be a peace treaty.
What, dog? Wouldn't you keep it?
And I don't think the gay Ayatollah knows either. And that's how we like it. You got to keep him on his toes. He's weighing options right now. Both options are very high
you
risk
turn
and
trans,
very
dude.
high reward, and they might extend that timeline. 4 to 6 weeks timeline. 4 weeks, Jessica, is 4 times 7 is like 28.
I remember I gave you a scenario where you could get your supercars or whatever. Yeah. And you can lose your balls or whatever. I think you took it, right? Yeah, well, you took it, right?
You'd seize the uranium, put them in caskets, throw them in trucks, drive them to an airstrip, and fly them out of town. This has never been done before. It's only been done in
You wanted to give up your balls for
I'm
fucking
saying,
supercars.
Ross Geller, the interesting hand movement that you just had. You might want to be careful, buddy.
Put them in caskets, throw them in trucks, drive them to an airstrip, and fly them out of town.
Just saying. Just saying.
Caskets, throw them in trucks, drive them to an airstrip, and fly them out of town. This has never been done before in combat. It's only been done in Ukraine and Georgia. Very, very dangerous. The other thing
My nuts have descended,
I saw somebody
dog.
say it in the chat. So good.
And seizing the strait.
Which you said was
Again,
supposed to happen. He did the same method. I'm going to mess with the markets before the open, which the Iranians predicted. Then
I
you
bet
said
it's
by
going to happen
Friday.
pretty soon. I bet you it's going to happen pretty soon.
Great.
One way or the other,
More
it's going
troops
to
on the
be
ground.
open. So they're going to have to go in, and then they're going to have to hold that territory. You're right. They'll have to hold Karg or hold the coastline, and that's just the way it's going to be if you need to achieve the mission. You are right, though. I mean, the Iranians do have thousands of drones still. They still have 100 of missiles, and those can sometimes get through air defenses, although the air defense is 90% effective.
I always wonder how Fox does this, where it goes all the way back to Alan Combs. When they interview a retarded liberal that are like, hey, we need you to be a punching bag for the conservatives on our network. And that's what Alan Combs was, RIP Alan Combs, but like when it was Hannity and Combs, it was just like Alan Combs was just meant to be a punching bag on that show every night. That's all it was. And that's what Jessica is on this show. Just a literal punching bag where they just annihilate her. They must be paying them very good.
Zelensky's going to backfill some of those defensive systems. That's great. But here's the deal. Once you take Karg, if takes their queen off the chessboard, and then you can really negotiate from a much stronger position. The next 2 weeks, we'll probably see the most dangerous and decisive action of the war so far.
Absolutely. I mean, this is where, like, it is very strange, but, man, like, not our Jessica. Not our Jessica. But it is interesting because I think that professional wrestling, it's almost part of every single thing on television. And I think people don't truly realize that. Like,
No,
Fox News
watching
is
it on YouTube.
WWF. Like, it is. CNN is WWF. ESPN, First Take. You know, Undisputed on Fox Sports. It's WWF. Like, it's all just an entertainment where somebody has a script and somebody has to be the heel and somebody has to be the face and they play it up and it's all meant for just entertainment purposes. That's all it is.
I can just pray it goes well. I can speak for myself, but I pray it goes well.
Beautiful. Dana continues since Thursday, and might I say you're even more attractive today than you were on Thursday.
So President Trump is in a situation that most commanders in chief find themselves in at some point, and that is having to make decisions that are like a tough decision and a tougher decision. And all the options are difficult, but he, to me, has been making some decisions that would be like questionable politically, like, for example, letting the Russian oil cargo get to Cuba. But like, that is a decision that in an ideal world, would he have wanted to do that? Probably not. But in order to keep the market fluid and to avoid a humanitarian disaster in Cuba at the moment, so he's saying, okay, we can do that. He also did something this week that we have been talking about for a while. Not a lot of people picked up on it, but remember we kept talking about the denominator?
Yeah.
So people say, oh, well, we bombed this many and we bombed this many, but like, of how many? So last night he told the Financial Times, we have taken out 13,000 and we have 3,000 more to go.
Look at those fucking, I'm watching these images on screen. This is awesome. Look at that. Bringing back some MW2 vibes right there, man. Just watching this stuff on the screen. Normally I would be looking at Dana Polino, but I'm kind of looking at the awesome explosions there.
But I really think that the Iranians are feeling it because they are, one, encouraging terrorist threats in our country. So over the
that's so awesome.
the terror attack directly linked back to the Iranian issue. And then what Iran said today is that they are threatening U.S. students who are studying in the Middle East. So that's just in. I don't know what political price you could possibly pay.
This is so cool, guys.
If it's the midterm, I don't know if he cares that.
Jeremy, she's like 60. Dude, her husband's like 184. I'm old as hell. You guys, some of you don't realize this, that I'm old. I'm an old man, okay?
He's going to do what he can, but he understands history and knows that it's probably likely that the Republicans won't be able to hold it, even if they try. So the political price to me is not weighing in on some of these very tough decisions.
Remember that about they knew about Will? So he's willing to get fired. That's what he does. It's like if you just play it safe, nothing good happens. You gotta hope.
Is that what you do every night?
Yeah.
What does the age of her husband have to do with anything? Because the reason I bring that up is because she clearly married for money. It's just clearly, like, her husband is like 190. Like, seriously, it's crazy.
That's what I have done.
And he's the only politician we've ever had who's always willing to spend political capital on something other than just getting himself reelected.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite of how he's painted as this narcissist who's worried about his poll numbers, when in fact all he's trying to do is build capital so he can spend it.
Jeremy has the beauty filter on. I don't. I'll only turn the beauty filter on for red super chats only. All right? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start an OnlyFans where I turn the beauty filter on, and people can send me super chats with a beauty filter, and then that way I can make money off of that by being pretty. All right? But there's no beauty filter on right now, but I'll turn it on for $100 super chat or more.
Not worried about his poll numbers. He says everything is great. Like, good
Doesn't bother him.
Be sure to like and subscribe for.
Whoa, what the fuck did I just click on? Oh, their YouTube channel? Okay. Fuck you, YouTube channel. Okay. Let's see. Jeremy would be the first person on OnlyFans that people would pay to go away. Oh, yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good deal. Let's see. I don't know how to say your name. Libertarians should be praising
sending a whore to your house right
their ideology politics could never solve when they get in a position of power. The problem is libertarians inherently are not looking to solve problems. They're looking to complain. That's literally what libertarians are interested in, is complaining. That's it.
Don't worry, I told her the exact window you'll be at. I told her just jump through that.
Or something is good.
She'll land right on top of you, dog. Break your back.
Something wrong with something. Narco says that what you are watching on screen is what active duty calls predator porn. Those are redacted. Predator porn or porn. I don't know if you misspelled it. See, you can't type the word porn, so I don't know if you're actually trying to say that or something else. Using redacted to blow up the enemy, and we military watch it to and just get there you go. Thank you, Narco. The Mass Marvel got that one. MacGyver says, I identify as a gun. Don't trigger me. I go boom. Marco Bradley says,
what are the different kinds of meat? There's fucking pork.
$100 super
There's
chat.
beef.
Now I have to turn
different kinds of meat. Yeah.
I hope everybody stays calm. Okay. You're gonna have to stay calm.
Like, how do people say fish isn't meat?
You ready? You ready for this? No beauty filter. Okay.
Nice.
And now, boom, beauty filter. Woo, 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 woo. Look at that. Look how clean and pretty. Bro, I'm gonna make $1 million.
So fish is just fish.
Only
it's not meat.
Face. Or whatever it's called. OnlyFans. Look at that. Pretty, pristine plastic. Look like Kim Kardashian right now. How much can, let's see, hang on. What else can I do to this shit? Alright. No, we can do that. Okay, none of that's gonna work. But yeah, so you can turn it down a little. So if you turn it down, okay, so like here's beauty filter on. You see how it takes all of my flaws and boom, look at that. See the difference? Beauty filter on, beauty filter off. Beauty filter off, beauty filter on. See that?
That's too fucking question, dude.
There you go. That's what you get for $100 around here. I mean, that is a deal.
What about
all right? I mean, that is a fucking deal. What other streamer is going to allow you to see them with beauty filter off and beauty filter on? There's not another streamer on the internet.
You know what has more protein than fucking your fucking pomegranate cheese, dog?
Let's see. Top of your ear stayed red. Holy fuck! Why are you looking that close at my ears? Fuck. Hang on. Why did you say that? Top of your ear stayed red? Who the fuck looked at that?
You want to make your back strong, dog? You gotta eat them fucking bullet ants, dog.
Shit. Like,
and them fucking centipedes. You know why? You know why centipedes make your back stronger, dog? Look at the fucking shape of a centipede, dog. It's a fucking spine, dog.
Fuck it. You can't see my ears anymore. Fuck y'all. All right. All right. Now you can't see my ears. There. Okay. No more ears. Done. All right. Thank you, Delona, for the $100. I appreciate it. Fruit of Mystery says, just saw a new post from Trump, Truth Social, carrying out a bombing. Not sure if it's a new strike. It probably is a new strike. Probably. Jim P says, I would tell Jessica on the 5th, together, down, and shut up. On the 5, you mean. Together, down, and shut up. Don't you speak until you hear the facts and learn the truth. Mudkip says, have you seen MAGA Man episode 1 yet? Part 1 is only 5 minutes. Perfect React content, 27 minutes for the full thing, unrelated to the clown MAGA Man here. I have not, but maybe on another stream. I got it in this stream here in a minute because I got a gaming stream coming up with Jay and Beardo and Mo. I don't. I have nothing against cats. It's simply that they're not dogs, because dogs. Look at there. Point of personal privilege says, I am gay. The temp poll for 5 says nothing. Nas says under 2 minutes past the intro and I haven't put the headphones on trying to listen to it at work. Already? Oh, man. Sorry about that. I've already offended. That's what my job is around here. Hey, listen, everyone. Don't panic. Don't be a panicking. U.S. stocks are surging and oil prices are dropping off. News that tensions could soon ease in the Iran war. Trump has a plan. Don't panic. America will succeed and the world will be a better place.
Past the hour now, and we're looking at the American stock market is fair to say surging. It's up 933 points right now. This says oil prices are dropping. Just down about 1% or $1 for the Wall Street Journal editor at large. And Fox News Jerry Baker.
No, that's bigger than my house.
Well, don't be a panicking, everybody. Now, I saw Gator in the chat said, not in Cali. Yeah, that's your problem. All right, that's a you problem. If you're in California, you can't blame Trump for any of your problems. Just saying. And California is a beautiful state with tons of Republicans. But yeah, I know you know. But your leadership is horrifically bad.
That's the only parking lot.
But hopefully, it's sad, man, because like I said, California, the coast, and Northern California, it's just beautiful there, man. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the leadership is just so bad. But it is a truly beautiful place. And this is where, like, you know how I talk about, like the other day, you know, a bunch of conservatives were, because stupid-ass Lindsey Graham's at Disney, and so you have a bunch of conservatives that don't have any concept of what Walt Disney World is, just make these ridiculous claims by having no knowledge. It's the same thing that happens to California. People that have never been to California, they simply judge California as Los Angeles. They have no concept of California. They have none. They have no understanding. In their minds, California is Los Angeles and Hollywood. And that's their only concept of it. And they just complain about it and run their mouths about it. They have no understanding of how beautiful Northern California is. They have no understanding that there are more registered Republicans in the state of California than any state in the United States of America, because they're stupid. They're very stupid people that don't do any research whatsoever, and they have no perspective outside of their own little warped view. Same as upstate New York and New York City, 1,000%. Now, I have never spent a lot of time outside of New York City to directly say that I am familiar with it, but I'm at least understanding of it. I've been to New York City a few times. I hate it with passion. It's just way too busy for me. It's chaos. I hate, like, it, don't get me wrong, like being there, like to experience New York City and Times Square is cool, but I would never want to be there like consistently. It's way too fast paced for me, and it's just not my cup of tea. So, but again, this happens to people. People just get this one little warped view of something, and they have no understanding of the greater picture, and they just generalize like crazy. It is what it is. It's a common thing on YouTube. So, and on social media in general. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? No way. Hassan was on CNN? No. Hassan was on CNN? No.
Thank you for having me.
Paint us a picture of what it's like on the ground. What'd you see?
When I first landed in Cuba, I was taken aback by how beautiful everything was. You know, you got the 1950s cars, and it's a tropical island destination. But very quickly thereafter, as soon as we got into Havana, the main city area.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't even react to this shit because I just don't even want to hear his voice. But that is pretty funny that he was on there. My goodness. Where we at? Van says, cats are great. I run a forever sanctuary. They're better than most people. Man on Fire is depressing. Fortnite and Rocket League are for kids. Man on Fire is not depressing at all. What the fuck are you talking about? Man on Fire is not a depressing movie. It's an inspiring movie. It's about humanity. It's about someone that lost his way, that found God and found a new, reason to live. It's literally the definition of an inspiring movie. The fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. How do you think Man on Fire is a depressing movie? Creasy lived a life. He did horrible things. He struggled with it. He struggled with alcohol. He was depressed. He questioned everything he did. He then met Dakota Fanning, is that her name? Her character. And at first was annoyed by her because he just took a job to get a paycheck.
Whoa.
And then developed a bond with her and cared about her. And her existence gave him a new reason to live. He puts down the alcohol. He picks up the Bible. He's inspired. He teaches her. He helps develop her. He helps her become a better person.
Oh, where's
And without
Unreal
getting into the
Engine
details of the movie,
still?
beyond that, we all know that something happens. And then the rest of the movie goes on. And then we know how it ends. It's for those that have seen it. To call that
Why
a
the
depressing
fuck can
movie
I
means you're a
ask you,
depressing
dog?
human being that don't understand anything. But that is a fucking retarded take. Absolutely.
Which you might know, dog.
Let's see. John Jones says, watch California's electoral count crater once non-citizens are removed from the census. Taco Woman Sandy Rabbit says that you heard that Chrissy Nome's husband cross-dresses. I did. Okay, we got to talk about it. All right. Denzel was awesome in that movie. I think Denzel, it might be his, it's my favorite Denzel movie. Is it his best performance? It probably is his best performance. It's close, all right? But listen, we got to talk about this, okay? Because this is why. Kristi Noem's having a tough time right now, okay? Kristi Noem is having a real tough time. Oh boy. Can I show this picture? Okay, I have to make sure. I hope I can show. You know what? Hang on. Gotta be careful here. It's not that I can't show it, it's that the YouTube AI might pick up on something. All right. All right. Kristi Noem weighs in on report. Husband lives cross-dressing double life. The family was blindsided by this. Former Department of Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem is devastated by salacious allegations by her husband, allegations her husband Byron lives a double life where he cross-dresses and online with fetish models. Mrs. Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at this time. Noem's representative told the Post. According to reporting by the Daily Mail, Byron Noem chatted up women with so-called bimbo fiction. What is that? I've never even heard of this. Bimbofication? Fetish scene? What is that? What the hell is that? Why do we have to learn about this shit? Why do I don't even know what this is. Why do I have to learn this? Are you fucking kidding me? Get your shit off my screen. In which adult performers augment their breast with massive amounts of saline to achieve a Barbie doll-like appearance. What?
You should get
Gnome's
one of those
family
mini
was
fans
blindsided by
that you can
this,
hold in your hand and just like blow the
citing
smoke back in
hundreds
his
of
face.
messages purportedly sent by 3 women from the scene. Gnome's husband enthusiastically praised their heavily augmented appearances and proclaimed he coveted huge, ridiculous boobs. I mean, I think everybody can relate to that one comment right there, okay? Everybody can relate to that one comment, all right? So, one photo the male claims Byron Gnome shared with women features him wearing pink hot pants and a flesh-colored skin-tight suit.
Open a window, dog.
Listen, I have said this many times, okay? I have said this many times. Those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. Byron equals Brian, just a figgy spelling of Byron. This is one of the pictures reportedly from the Daily Mail. Now, the Daily Mail is the Daily Mail, okay? So, like, I don't know how much stock we can put into the Daily Mail. I think this is fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And at the end of the day, man, like, stop pretending that you're some goody two-shoes person. Stop pretending that you're better than other people, and just admit that we're all a little fucked up in some way, shape, or form. But when people are constantly projecting, they don't want you to be thinking about, they don't want you to think about them in any negative light whatsoever. Someone that, to me, is the perfect example of this. Some people aren't going to like this, but it's John Cena. I think John Cena is one of the most phony people. I also think The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I think we all know Dwayne Johnson's a phony, but like, I think John Cena is a complete fraud. And John Cena wants everyone to think that he's a great man who cares about people. Like, he wants you to believe that. He needs you to believe that. And it feels so forced. It feels so phony. And of course, Dwayne Johnson's the same way. Dwayne Johnson's just a pathetic fraud in every sense of the word. But yeah, so it's been a rough time for Kristi Noem. You know, she's been under fire with everything from the Trump administration. There were reports that she was fired. I don't think she was fired. I think she was, you know, moved to a different position, but who knows? But ultimately, yeah, so apparently she has a cross-dressing husband, and apparently they were blindsided by this. Do you believe she was blindsided by this, though? Because, like, I don't really know how. I question your ability to make any judgment in life if the person that's that close to you, if you had no understanding of that. There's either two ways to look at this. Either you're lying or you're an incredibly naive human being. Neither one of these are good. Neither one of these are good. But I'm going to side on that I believe that she knew. And which is why you look at the reports. Who was it? Was it Corey Lewandowski? I think there was reports that her and Corey Lewandowski were hooking up or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. And so, what a wild story. What a wild story. What a fall from grace from this chick right here. So, does he wear her stuff? I mean, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting yeah. And I'm betting that she knew about his effed up situation. So the memes are pretty funny right now. But there's only so much I can show. Like some of the outfits that this guy's dressing up in, they are YouTube friendly, but I worry about the AI bots picking up pictures of the nipples that he has on. So I'm not going to play them. But yeah, pretty crazy story. So congrats to the gnomes, I guess, for being weird as fuck. Point of personal privilege says I called it. Philip Johnson, Jerry's right. Your profile picture isn't. See that? There you go. Good job, Philip. Nandy for 50 says, Christy, come over here to New Jersey. I can fix you. Good old Nandy. Shooting his shot. Shooting his shot. I respect it. Maybe she's watching right now, Nandy. Maybe she is. Maybe she hits you up in the DM. She's like, yo, what's up? Tell her, like, I don't care if you killed animals. I don't care if you got a fucked up husband. I don't care if you're sleeping around with people in the Trump administration. Come on over to New Jersey. I got you, girl. I respect it. Oh, man. Yeah, Gator says, I hope you don't have a dog. Damn, man. What a freaking disaster. And I do think that that's some people's problem with the conservative side, which I do understand that. On the conservative side, you have a lot of people that, you know, they preach about, you know, Christian conservative values and all of this, but a lot of them have a lot of skeletons behind the closet. You know what I mean? And that's why I think Trump is so successful, is because Trump is about as authentic as you can get. Nobody is questioning, you know, like who Trump is. And he has never pretended to be anything other than who he is. And I think that's why he's so successful. But he is surrounded, and it's not just he, the entire political atmosphere, whether it's Republican or Democrat, is full of horrible, disgusting people. It's why I often talk about the show House of Cards on Netflix, minus the final season. But House of Cards, especially in those first few seasons, it does such a great job of explaining the filth of Washington, the filth of politics, and how dirty and slimy it is. It is so good. I think House of Cards is one of the best series ever made outside of the final season, which is one of the worst seasons. Honestly, I'll say it right now. House of Cards, the final season of House of Cards, is the single worst season of television ever created. Yes, it's worse than Game of Thrones. And for those that don't understand the context of that, Kevin Spacey, who was a horrible human being in real life, but he was the star of House of Cards, and he got caught up in a lot of legal stuff with accusations of a lot of different things. And ultimately, he was fired and basically kicked out of Hollywood. So they got rid of him, and then they essentially turned the entire final season into a pro-feminist propaganda show. And it was awful. It makes Game of Thrones Season 8 look like a masterpiece. So, but that doesn't take away from watching the first several seasons of House of Cards. It is phenomenal. You will love it, I promise. If you're into it. Chuck says Speed Racer is getting released in 4K and theaters again. It's one of my favorite childhood movies. I can't wait to see it again. Is it getting released in theaters again? Really? That's cool. When does that happen? The Skeleton King says that Jerry pretending like he doesn't know what it means. I have never heard that word. Look, man, I know about some effed up stuff, but I've never heard that particular term. But I go back to, there's a comedian, Sebastian Maniscalco. And he talks about, I wonder if I can find that clip and play it. But like the internet and finding out all these
Dude,
weirdos.
what I told you when I heard your dad
fetishes and
just
shit,
say, "Shut the fuck up,"
like
dude,
that's
I
the
started
sad reality
laughing.
now is that we used to not know about this.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, I can find it. Yeah, right here. I think this is it. This is it right here. This is perfect right here. Okay? This is it. Perfect.
This internet, there's something for everybody, right? You got some weird fetish, some weird thing you do? Look at how weird it just got in here, huh? Some of you are into this type of behavior. But if you like something weird, you like to, if you're an adult, you like to dress up as a baby, there's a website for you. 30 years ago, if you like to dress up as a baby, nobody knew that.
Yes.
You did that in the privacy of your own home. If you ever came out of your house with a diaper on, your neighbor would go, look at this shit, call the FBI, get this shit out of the neighborhood, right? It was handled. But today, just throw it up in the Google. I like to dress up as a baby. Next thing you know, they're at the Hilton on a Saturday with 863 people that like to do this shit.
This is so accurate, man. Oh, fuck. That is so true. So again, it kind of goes back into my theory that I always talk about, that the world is not more effed up today than it was before. The world has always been effed up, and people have always been effed up. The problem is that we now have more information than we've ever had before. That is the problem. We have far more information, we have far more knowledge, and we have far more understanding. But effed up people were still effed up back in the 70s, back in the 80s, back in the 90s, back in the 2000s. It was always that way. Okay? Unfortunately now we know, because these idiots love to tell us all of their, you know, deep, dark fantasies, which is inherently a mental illness, in my opinion. I don't think that you're mentally ill because you have fantasies or secrets. Everybody has fantasies and secrets. I think you're mentally ill because you think it's okay to tell people in public about that shit. Nobody gives a fuck, period. Unless you're an extremely hot woman, then we all care. But most of the people that tell us about their fantasies are ugly, unattractive people. Okay? Simple as that. Yapping Tom says, Az might have something to say here. Skywalker DFS says, former Home Depot lumber department myself, 1996. That's where I started. I started in the lumber department. Started in the lumber department. That's when I learned to drive the forklift, the reach truck, the order picker, and had a lot of fun doing it. And then I moved around to other departments. The one thing that sucks about working at Home Depot is if you have an apron, the Home Depot apron, people think that you know everything about everything. I've got legitimate contractors coming into the store asking me about specifics on building a foundation of a home. At first I was like, I don't fucking know. And eventually I just started bullshitting my way through it. Like, well, you pick up over here, if you get some of this quarter round right over here, and you go over here and get this plywood gives you a better foundation. They're like, oh yeah, man, this sounds great. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. But because I have a fucking apron on, you just immediately think me with my minimum wage pay. You think I'm an expert on this shit. And they'll listen. They'll be like, yeah, hey, that's a great plan. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, man. Let me know if you need anything else. Meantime, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Marmillan says that the ease of finding other effed up people has become a way too easy is the reality. People were always completely messed up. This stuff isn't new. 100%. 100%. Imagine all the buildings Jeremy destroyed. It was funny. I talked about this before, but there is a house in Pensacola, Florida. This is back. My God, how long ago was this? This had to be in the 20, maybe 2002, maybe around that time, maybe even before that. But I roofed that house. Me and my cousin, we put the entire roof on that house. And I've done roofing before when I was younger with my granddad and everything like that. But this was the first job that we had to do by ourselves, because there was this guy that like a business partner, my dad's, and he bought this house and he basically remodeled the whole thing, and he was doing it on like we were his Mexicans is essentially what we were. We were cheap labor. We were his Mexicans. And he's like, you guys, you've done roofing, right, Jeremy? I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'll give you guys like $300. You just re-roof this house. I'm like, fuck yeah, buy some comic books. Me and my cousin were like, what? How the fuck do we do this? That house has survived multiple hurricanes with no new roof. Now, I could sit here and tell you it's because I'm an expert, but I'm not. And I'm still not sure how the fuck that thing is still standing. The roof has never needed to be replaced. I don't know how. It's the craziest shit ever. Robots Ninjas, shout out to the 199. Thank you. Sophie! What up, Sophie? Says, hail. Elections April 12th here. 35 candidates, mostly trash. Everything rigged. The streets are full of campaign billboards. We need, is it, how do you say that? ASAP. Pray for us. Well, I hope it all works out, Sophie. Thank you. Let us know. Let us know. Quentin Daniels is best of 7. Kobe, Shaq, Lakers. KD, Curry, Warriors. It's weird because the game has changed so much, so that KD, Curry, Warriors were, the game was so different. So I guess I would need to know what are the rules. You know, like are we like can't hand check anymore or anything like that? I'm gonna take Kobe, Shaq, Lakers because fuck the Warriors. But I think that there's a lot of details that have to be asked. Jimmy Ray says, do you ever think your fingerprint do you ever think that your fingerprints could be found on another weapon because you're the one who started the hammer? I mean, I guess I would have worried about that if it was sooner, but yeah, that's a good assessment right there. Home Depot and Lowe's employees, you might want to think twice when you're stocking the hammers at Home Depot. So there you have it. But I think that I'm way past this, what is it called when there's so many years has passed? So I think I'm safe and clear. But next time I go to Home Depot, because every time I go to Home Depot, I go over to the hardware section and I'm always checking out their hammers because you just want to see some cool hammers and think about, you know, fighting zombies with them and shit. I'm going to think twice about that now. Statute of limitations. Yeah, that's it. So next time I go to Home Depot and I'm testing out their hammers, I'm going to put some gloves on. I'm like, I don't want anybody to pick this hammer up and do anything bad and then it traces back to me. Ministry of Home Thing says, Iran, U.S. now negotiating terms of Iran surrender. Yeah, we just talked about that, and we'll see what happens. You know, again, I think that everything we're hearing is there's a lot going on. So just because it's being said doesn't mean it's going to happen. Trump is playing mind games with everybody right now. All right, he's playing mind games with everybody. So just be patient and let things work itself out. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't have a time table, but we just know that Trump is working them over big time. But as I said, you know, you do have the stock markets are responding. Price of oil is going down. So right here. Let me play it one more time for people who are just tuning in. But right here, U.S. stocks are surging and oil prices are dropping off news that tensions could soon ease in the Iran war. So we'll see if that actually does, if anything does come from that. Now, one thing that's going on that's just a carryover. Again, people are stupid, all right? Finally, it got community noted, but we got another tweet right here. Leave Erica Kirk alone. She's grieving. Erica Kirk. And he posts this picture. Okay. Now, I did get community noted, thankfully. So what's interesting about this is that, so the people that are theorizing, the people that have investigated the assassination of Charlie Kirk and have determined that Tyler Robinson is not responsible, and they have all of these answers and they have figured all of this out. Okay. The people that have done that investigation are too dumb to do any research to find out that this picture was taken in 2016. So it goes back to, as I always say, common sense. Common sense. Whenever you have, you remember we brought up the Lakers and Kobe's Lakers. Remember when Kobe Bryant got accused of rape? Remember, credibility of the accuser was called into question. Whenever you accuse someone of something and you have a laundry list of other accusations you have made that are similar, credibility matters. It just does. So when you have a group of people that can't do enough research on a picture to find out when the picture was taken, but I'm supposed to believe that this same group of people are smart enough to do all of the research, to find out all of the secrets, this government cover-up, this massive cover-up, but yet you can't do 2 seconds to find out that this picture was taken in 2016? I'm supposed to believe that group? Sorry, not gonna happen. So yes, this group of people continues to be the most retarded group of people on the fucking internet. And they'll believe anything. They'll believe anything as long as it lines up with their narrative. And yeah, I know the bullet doesn't match, guys. Oh, I saw some retard right here talking about it. Let's see, hang on. Where'd it go? Yep, there it is. The bullet doesn't match the rifle, Jeremy. Oh, man. Thank you, Daily Mail headline guy. Did you actually read the article? Did you actually look into what the article said? Or did you just read the headline? Again, people that can't do the slightest bit of fucking research. Holy shit, man. Like, all you got to do is read a little bit. All you got to do is get a little bit of context. It's not that difficult. But we're talking about people that post a picture of Erica Kirk and say, grieving widow. And then in the comments, there's plenty of people that are going, she sure doesn't look upset to me. It was 2016. She married Charlie in 2021. How stupid can you be? My God, man. We're dealing with the dumbest people on the internet. The absolute most retarded people on the internet, and it's not even debatable at this point in time. Now, somebody said I should react to Andrew Wilson versus Zach Costello. I'm not familiar with Zach Costello. I am familiar with Andrew Wilson. So here's the video that I was told about. This is from 5 days ago. So let's listen in. I don't know if we're going to listen to all of it, but I want to listen to I know Andrew Wilson is a very good, he's very good in debate formats.
Andrew Wilson here. Let's bring him onto the stage. Andrew, Can you hear me? And are you there?
I can hear you fine.
Well, Andrew, we haven't met before, but welcome to the Zach Costello Show. I appreciate you coming on. I think that you heard somewhat of my kind of opening statement there, kind of highlighting how today came about. Give us, I guess you can say, a starting point. So you maybe had a chance to look through some of my arguments. I've seen a couple of yours. I mentioned and noted the one on Joe Rogan when you guys were talking about Candace Owens. Give us kind of a starting point of where you are with.
Well, those weren't arguments. Those were me giving a mind state or my belief of X. Right? I wasn't actually making any arguments there. The problem. So here's the problem with this topic. Anytime I try to talk to somebody who has any level of influence, who is regurgitating any of the nonsense, they can't actually tell me what they're alleging. Like, they can't ever tell me, like, here's what we're actually alleging.
Oh, that's very much on point right there. Well, some of them can. Ultimately, what they're alleging is that Israel is behind everything. That's and I know that Andrew knows this, but they're essentially just saying Israel's behind everything.
So inside of, if we're gonna make comparisons of theories, do you agree that some theories are superior to other theories, right? Even in science, this is true. There's a term that we use for this called theoretical virtues. Theoretical virtues are the things inside of a theory which makes the theory more or less, essentially good to use for the purpose of discovering or utilizing information or things like this, right? Now, that there's more to it than that, but I think for the purpose of the conversation, just kind of expressing that is good enough. So the first thing is, I actually want to know what's even being alleged. Like, what is actually even being alleged by your side? Do you even have claims, or is it just we just want to ask more questions? Like, what is the actual allegation?
This is great. This is a great.
Sure. So I think
it's a great question. And again, this is why I don't watch Andrew Wilson a lot, but I've seen a lot of his clips, and he's very, very well known for these kind of debate formats. He's really, really good at it, and he's good at kind of setting a trap for the person that he's talking to.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not exactly sure who my side would constitute. I think it
would be like you, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, people who are in agreement with what are considered alternative facts, or disagree with government facts, or police, or various things like this. That would be your side. So what are you guys alleging?
That Tyler Robinson was not the lone wolf shooter or assassin in the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Okay, now that's a huge claim, right? Do you agree with that?
I think it is a huge claim, because that's what we're being told by the current mainstream narrative FBI.
Mm-hmm. So because that's a huge claim, I think that I have every business, since this is a claim going against all state investigatory evidence. which they've released, I have every business in the world holding your feet to the fire on that claim. And you would have the burden, the overwhelming burden, to release really good evidence for your claim. So if it is your claim,
well, they actually do though,
Yeah.
Andrew. And I hate to call you out, Andrew. I hate.
Nothing.
To man, because I typically like Andrew, but they like Andrew. I hate to do this to you, buddy, but Erica Kirk is celebrating right now.
I'm strengthening that dog.
It's pretty clear that Erica Kirk is celebrating because she's being paid, because she's behind this whole thing. I mean, again, I don't want to destroy your argument before it starts, Andrew, but, you know.
Tyler Robinson was not the shooter of Charlie Kirk. Give me the demonstration of evidence which would be convincing to the alternative.
Sure. So, okay. So let's clarify some words here. So
I typically like Andrew Wilson, but that one video of him trying to open up was that a pickle jar on the whatever podcast? And he couldn't do it. That was bad. That was bad.
when I say lone, I should clarify and say not necessarily lone shooter. I understand there are many people who are skeptical that Tyler Robinson did or did not take the shot that actually killed Charlie Kirk. The lone actor, I think, is probably where I align most questionable. I think that the evidence.
What is that? Wait, hang on. I'm sorry.
I don't think Tyler Robinson.
Let me back up.
I don't.
Did Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk or not? Let's start with that. Did he kill him or not?
I don't know. I don't know whether he did or not. I mean, there's obviously a trial that needs to take place.
Okay, so do you see how we're getting into evidence?
Yeah.
You see how that's ambiguous?
Yeah, you don't know what you're alleging. None of you guys have any idea. What you are essentially doing is you are doing what's getting you the most traction on social media. That's ultimately what this is all about. Okay? That's what this is all about. You're getting a lot of traction on social media to ask questions about this, but you truly don't have a core belief of any of this.
US though, like, what are we actually claiming here? Because before it was he's not the lone wolf shooter. Now it's I'm not sure if he shot him or not. The state says that he shot him. Are you refuting that or not refuting that?
I'm skeptical of that.
What does that mean?
You can say, I don't think you, how can you say definitively that Tyler Robinson absolutely killed Charlie Kirk and is the shooter?
Well, when you say definitive, when you say, Andrew, can you definitively say that? I can't definitively say Superman's logically impossible. Like, I can't definitively say that.
Okay.
But pragmatically, I can say pragmatically, right? Superman is impossible. When we're discussing this, I want to know specifics. If you're not claiming that Robinson was the sole actor, that's a different claim than Tyler Robinson didn't shoot Charlie Kirk. So let's be very specific. If you're claiming that Tyler Robinson did not shoot Charlie Kirk, and the state is claiming that Robinson did, what evidence would you be able to present which is better than the evidence of the state for that claim? Let's start there.
Okay, there's a few things that we can bring up as far as Tyler Robinson not acting alone as the lone wolf, shooter or actor in the Charlie Kirk assassination. So,
But wait, hang on. That's not what I'm asking about. The first thing I'm asking about,
that's what I'm claiming.
What is your evidence? Okay, so you're not actually claiming Tyler Robinson didn't shoot Charlie Kirk?
Again, it's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if Tyler...
I don't understand. What I do understand is packing protons just dropped a proper 199. Now, packing protons. This is how you get chicks right here, okay? Because chicks are watching Cobra Cast, and they see you dropping the proper 199. They're like, packing protons, packing some dollars. Just saying, this is how you get chicks right here. You're off to a good start, okay? You're off to a very good start. And that makes Sydney Sweeney happy. And we're always happy when Sydney Sweeney is happy. Okay? So there you have it. See there? Amanda Panda says, I can confirm. Look at there. Panties are flying off. Let it be known that if you drop a big... Look at this. Okay? Case in point. Case in point. Okay? If Andrew Wilson was here, he would go, well, Jeremy, you just said that if you drop big money on the Cobra Cast stream, that chicks are watching. Do you have anything to base that off of? Yes, I do. Let me introduce you to Jessica, who married Alec Baldwin's finger. Boom. You're welcome. Bam. You see? I ain't making nothing up, okay? I ain't making nothing up. Thank you, Patrick.
Tyler Robinson or not. What I believe.
Okay.
Why don't we just say that? Why don't we just say this? I believe that Tyler Robinson could have taken a shot. I'd like to see. There are definitely questions that I want to see in trial. That I think that I hope come out, like especially with regard to the video surveillance of him or whoever it was walking up the stairwell on the day of the assassination. We only have still pictures of that. I personally don't think that
So you're not claiming that he didn't do it?
I am not making the claim that I definitively believe that Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk.
Okay, so you believe that it's very possible that Tyler Robinson did kill Charlie Kirk?
I believe it's possible. Yes.
No. Well, okay. Unlikely.
One of my main
is it
issues,
unlikely?
though, is...
Like what? You see what I mean by like I can't? It's always ambiguous. Like,
but it's not. It's
if
not
I'm trying to drive down on this. Is it your belief that it's more likely he did or more likely he didn't?
Andrew,
Maybe we can start there.
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical
of your skepticism.
Yeah, based on what? You're skeptical based on what? Why are you skeptical? What has created that skepticism for you? What? Give me something that has led you to be skeptical of it. I'm not saying that you're wrong to be skeptical. I'm just trying to say what has led you to this skepticism. An Ian Carroll video? A Candace Owens video?
I'm skeptical of your skepticism. Great. That doesn't get us anywhere. I want to know specifically what the claim is. Is it more likely that he killed him or not?
Can you tell me if you believe Tyler Robinson definitively killed Charlie Kirk?
Right now, all of the evidence which has been presented shows that that's the stronger narrative. Yes.
Do you think that Tyler Robinson acted alone in the planning and coordination to kill Charlie Kirk?
According to the evidence presented so far by both sides, the state's making a much more compelling evidence that, yes, he did.
So you don't believe that George Zinn, who acted as a decoy in the immediate aftermath, was a part of that coordinated plan? You don't believe the Discord
hang on.
Beforehand had anything to do
I'm going to grant all of the shit that you just said. I'm just going to grant all of it. I want to see the evidence that he didn't shoot him.
You notice Andrew Wilson answers Zach's questions directly. Zach can't answer anything that Andrew asks him. Regardless if you like Andrew's answer or not is irrelevant. It's that Andrew answers the question.
What is it?
What did you say? Sorry.
What's the evidence that Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk? What is it?
So the evidence that Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, people would argue that.
I'm asking for your argument, not people's.
Yeah. I mean, people would say the 30-06 not having an exit wound would be one of the main sources of evidence that Tyler Robinson did not take the shot with that specific weapon. But that's not a claim that necessarily.
I will say this. Not a lot. Like I tend to always find. I try to
in
find
5 minutes, you're going to be saying this game is
positive
retarded
side
and
of
getting
everything, regardless of how bleak it is. For
he's-
me, not being the biggest Charlie Kirk supporter when he was alive, I just didn't really care about Charlie Kirk. I mean, whatever. You know, I knew of Charlie Kirk. I didn't watch him. I didn't really care about him. I didn't have a strong opinion one way or the other. But after he was assassinated and the fallout from that, and obviously we watched, you couldn't get away from seeing the clips of Charlie and the debates and the things that he said and the things that he was talking about. I find myself struggling, and I think we all kind of go through this when we're all laying in bed at night, and that's when your mind starts playing tricks on you, you know, and you start overthinking everything. At least this happens to me. But, you know, I'm like getting there, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna die soon. Everybody fucking does that, you know what I mean? So I sit there and I think about Charlie Kirk. The way that I've always believed and the way I view life is that Charlie Kirk is in heaven and he's smiling down upon us. But I have to ask myself, like, how can Charlie be in heaven smiling down on what's going on with his family right now and how his family is being treated by people that he was closely connected to? How could he be happy with this? His family is being just dragged all over the internet. It's like this dude lived a genuinely decent life. Not saying he was a perfect human being, because nobody's perfect, but he was a genuinely good dude. He was a family man who, as a husband, as a father, you got one job on this planet: protect your family. That's it. That's your job. Simple as that. And so he is watching his family just get destroyed. And I struggle with that as to, like, how is that okay? How is that okay? How is it that this man who was a man of God was taken from his family and now can't protect his family? Just saying, that's me just spewing my feelings on this whole situation. It's very troubling to me. And why aren't his friends talking about him like this? Why aren't his, like, I was watching a Tim Pool video today. Tim Pool knew Charlie Kirk. Tim Pool talked about Charlie Kirk like he's a comic book character. Tim Pool was talking about it today, about the bullet going into his neck and the bullet being pulled out of his body. And I'm like, this is a person you knew, dude. Like, what the fuck? They're just talking about him like, yeah, it's just, I don't understand it, man. None of this shit makes sense to me. Like, if one of my friends, something, God forbid, happens to one of my friends, I'm not going to make content out of that consistently forever. Like, it's just not what I'm going to do. Too painful to talk about that shit, man.
I'm not going to hinge my entire opinion on that specific point. Is it unlikely?
Okay, great. Okay, hang on. Great.
Unless it's Ryan.
So
That's true.
you're saying you're not even sure about that. So what would be the compelling evidence that you would be using that would compel you past the state's evidence to say that the state would be incorrect about Tyler Robinson having pulled the trigger on Charlie Kirk? What? What specific things? What?
The specific things that would... Look, I believe and I think that it's very likely that Tyler Robinson could have killed Charlie Kirk. I'm not necessarily making an argument that he did not. So, Andrew, my main concern is that this is bigger than just Tyler Robinson. That is my main concern. If Tyler Robinson did take the shot, and I say if he did, because it's innocent until proven guilty, then this is a kid who was radicalized very quickly within 6 months leading up to the assassination.
Yeah, that's very, very, very common with transgender shooters.
It came out immediately in the media by mainstream media figures that there were foreign links to potentially the SLC armed queers group that had chatter about the assassination prior to. To me, that's very solid evidence that has come out in...
You've given nothing of substance. Not one answer from the Zach person has had any substance. It's all, well, people have said, well, I believe that this is possible. Like, nothing.
So you're blown up.
In mainstream media sources that this is bigger than just Tyler Robinson, and he was not just the lone actor in this assassination case. I align very much so with Joe Kent, who, you know, obviously served.
Hang on, you were saying all of this before there was ever a Joe Kent saying anything.
No, I know, but ultimately Joe Kent has now come out and almost verified many of the concerns that I've had, especially with regard to this assassination.
Okay, what do you think that Joe Kent verified?
That there are potential links to this being bigger than just Tyler Robinson, that the lone wolf narrative is not true.
That's not what Joe Kent said.
He said that there are leads that could potentially lead to...
Could, potential, maybe, not sure.
That he thinks should be pursued.
Yeah, but that's not evidence of anything.
No, it's not.
Well, it's not evident.
Joe Kent said just enough to get the people that he needed to support him. And that's exactly what's happened. He said just enough so that crowd will then be like, yeah, that's right. Joe Kent's one of us.
It's not evidence of anything. It's just, so Joe Kent's entire narrative is that the investigation was turned over to Utah. That was it. And Utah thought it was pretty open and shut. That was basically what he said. They thought it was open and shut. The state thought it was open and shut. Why? Because they had the weapon, they had the suspect, they had all the text, they had the fingerprint on the rifle, they had everything that you could ever want and then some. So they said, well, the case, it's like finding a person standing over the body with the knife and the blood and the fingerprints on the knife. And that's how the state sees it. So you can endlessly investigate something, I suppose, but why? What are we investigating here? What is it that you think should be investigated? You say there's foreign links, but Joe Kent never named what those foreign links are, right? He was told to stop wasting taxpayer resources by trying to pursue that because there was no reason to pursue that. Joe Kent also is a guy who he's only been with the Trump administration for less than a year, I believe, before all of this happened. Okay, he was, essentially the guy's a decorated war veteran. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And I understand him going with his conscience when it came to the Iran war. But he did not give you any new evidence to support any of your theories here. Nothing.
He didn't necessarily give any evidence, but what he encouraged was the idea that, again, there are that the concerns that many of us have are in fact legitimate.
Well, no, he didn't. That's a lie. Like, you're just lying. He didn't actually give any evidence which would show that your concerns are legitimate. That's
this right here is essentially the anti-Israel crowd's answer to every question. And you've all seen the movie, but this is essentially how they answer everything. Right here, American Psycho.
Maybe. No. Not really.
That's it. Maybe. I don't know. Not really. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean?
Literally not true. I don't even know why you would say that. It is actually factually not true that Joe Kent gave any evidence
that he expressed his own
hang on.
concerns.
Let me make the point.
Okay.
It is not, in fact, the case that Joe Kent validated any concerns of yours or Candace's or Ian Carroll's with evidence of any kind whatsoever. So where's the validation? That he just feels this way? That's the validation. I just feel that way? Is that the validation, dude?
No, he said in the interview with Mark Levin that there is evidence that he was not able to share because it was classified.
Oh, well, that's really convenient. But so no evidence then. Again.
Why? I guess.
So hang on, I just want to make sure I got this right. So you're saying no evidence, right? That's what you're actually saying?
No, I'm not saying.
Okay, so what's the evidence? What's the evidence that he gave?
Access to? I'm saying there's no evidence that we have access to.
Then you don't have evidence.
Well, okay. Neither do you. You don't have any evidence that.
Yeah, well, no, I do. I have the evidence that the state has released thus far. Okay. You have a counterclaim to the state.
So the anti-Israel crowd is essentially saying, I don't have any evidence. I don't have anything to prove anything I'm saying, but I don't have to. Yeah, you do. That's the point. You actually have to prove what you're saying. You actually have to have evidence to back up the claims of what you're making. Yes, that is exactly how this goes.
You have a burden of evidence now, too, to refute the state. You saying I don't have access to evidence that the state has access to is not an argument for your evidence. What you just got done saying is you don't have any evidence for your claim, and Joe Kent didn't give you any. Unless he did, and if he did, show it to me.
Are you concerned that...
Hang on, show me the evidence Joe Kent gave. Or did he give none? I want to make that clear.
Joe Kent spoke about evidence that he was referring to that was not made public.
Okay, so no evidence, got it.
So are you not concerned at all about what Joe Kent has brought forward with regard to how the investigation was handled behind the scenes?
There was nothing he said which was particularly compelling from my position. So what all Joe Kent said was, and by the way, you're in this is party politics that you're diving into. Joe Kent was walking away from what he considered a moral situation with Trump and Iran. So because of that, he's doing a media tour. He's being asked about all sorts of other things. In this particular case, he did not leave the administration over what happened with Charlie Kirk, because it must not have affected him nearly as badly, at least from a moral foundational perspective, as the Iran thing did.
By the way, I just got a notification on my ESPN app. Holy shit, this is hilarious. Pioneering female NFL official sues the league over her treatment and firing. So in a new lawsuit, one of the first 3 women to officiate an NFL game describes her 3 years as the pinnacle of her profession as a descent into the grip of sexist institution unable to treat a woman as equal. You get what you deserve, NFL. You get what you deserve. Holy shit. I hope she sues them for every fucking thing. Because you get what you deserve. You decided to go virtue signal and bring a female official in for no reason other than to virtue signal. And now she's suing you for sexism. Fuck off, NFL. Anyway, we'll continue.
So he didn't seem like he was particularly upset about it. It seemed like he was just answering questions about it. Now, a lot of people are running with this as though he gave some sort of compelling evidence. You just got done saying, in fact, that your intuitions are now validated because of Joe Kent, when in fact, you just admitted that you have no new evidence to present from Joe Kent. And so
I would say my concerns align with Joe Kent's concerns. Ultimately, is I think the best way that I would say it.
Well, I'm glad
Charlie Kirk's name got brought up. Let me make a point. Charlie Kirk's name got brought up because Charlie Kirk and Joe Kent overlapped in the White House, and Charlie was adamantly telling him to not go to war with Iran. So that's the connection there of how that came up in the Tucker Carlson interview was.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the interview. The thing is, though, is that you don't have any new evidence to validate any of these positions or intuitions. You just
Right, so this is so what we're learning about the anti-Israel crowd, not that this is breaking news, but they are essentially, just because they are the same group that supported the Me Too 2.0 movement, this is who they are. They are part of the Me Too movement. They think that just making accusations is enough. They don't believe that evidence should be part of it. They don't believe in due process. They don't believe in it. They just think that if you make accusations, they don't have to actually give you any evidence whatsoever. That's who they are.
just saying that you guys are all have concerns together is nice, right? I'm concerned, they're concerned, the guy over there is concerned. But this is the problem with all of your claims, is that they're very vague, they're very ambiguous, and when we get to hyper-specifics, when you say things like this validates my position, and then say, but gives no new evidence for my position, I don't understand how your position is then more validated by it.
Okay.
I don't actually understand that.
But can I go through, let me go through a couple points that I guess provide backing to my argument that this...
I mean, how do you... I don't know much about the Zach Costello guy, but like, how do you have Andrew Wilson on your show and not have better answers? How is that possible? Like, I mean, I don't watch Andrew Wilson a lot, but I know that if I'm going to have a conversation with Andrew Wilson, I'm going to need to have some fucking answers ready. How does he not have any answers ready? It's crazy.
Could be bigger, that I think is likely bigger than just Tyler Robinson. Can I do that for you?
Sure.
Okay.
But do one piece at a time.
Okay. Let's start with the day of and the basics. So George Zinn, the man who acted as the decoy, who said that,
what does that mean?
He stood up and
no,
said,
hang on, what does that mean?
He was the shooter. He stood up in the immediate aftermath of Charlie being shot and said that he was the shooter. And when he was receiving medical attention, and I can find the source on this, he informed the individual that was treating him that he was paid to do so.
Okay.
So that is pretty solid evidence that.
No, it's not. So let's go through it first.
So you don't think that?
Well, hang on. Let's go first.
Tyler Robinson.
Let's go first and foremost with the word that you used to describe this: decoy.
Okay.
Give me your proof he was an actual decoy.
Exactly.
Well, he acted as a decoy.
Give me the proof of that. That's the claim restated.
He stood up and said that he took the shot, and he in fact did not.
Yeah, but a decoy would imply that there was coordination, and he was to act in this way.
Is it this guy has, and again, I think that this is the problem with these people, is that they throw so many fucking crazy theories out there that when there is, I kind of compare the anti-Israel crowd to kind of like the Wii library of games. I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck is Jeremy talking about? This is what happens when you run a gaming network and a nerd network and you talk politics. But if you remember the Nintendo Wii, okay? The Nintendo Wii, when you would go into a GameStop, there was about 4 good games for the Wii. But the entire fucking market was saturated with family-friendly garbage bullshit. And it was almost impossible to find Mario Galaxy. You know, something awesome. Because all you see is Wii Fit. Ooh, Wii Motion. Ooh, look at this family-friendly garbage bullshit. And at some point you're like, I don't care. I don't even care anymore. If there are good games within this, I give up because there's so much bullshit. That's where the anti-Israel crowd is. Look, this guy that initially was, you know, claiming he was part of it, that's a good conversation to have, and I'm interested in that. But you guys have added so much bullshit to this that I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care about any of it. Simple as that. The boxing was legit. Yes, it was. My boy, Drinky Crow says, is there a video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot? So you have no evidence. This is the problem with is it real first crowd. Fed slop zombies. What? I understand the point you were making, but you kind of lost me in the second half there. So. Hail to you, Kevin. You mad lad. Jake Frazier for 10 says, hail to 199. Jeremy, did you show off the Razor Fist video I suggested a few streams ago on the manufactured MAGA schism? Sorry for asking. I'm catching up, and if it's all right, if you've decided against it. It's not that I decided against it. Honestly, I forgot completely about it. I'm actually glad you brought that up. I probably won't have time to get to it today unless we do a second stream tonight, but I'm glad that you reminded me of that one. So, mods, if you can send me that link to that video from Razor Fist, I would like to take a look at that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Miniature Something says, quote, when did you stop cheating on your wife is literally just questions. It's also quintessential example of people go to call out corrupt journalism because it's maliciously implying guilt. 100%.
Specifically. By the way, that was Ron.
Well, if you were to ask me what is there evidence that he was trying to cover up, I would be like, he stood up and said that he took the shot and he didn't. Like, you're asking me to provide evidence, and I'm literally telling you what this guy did, and then you're saying, well, that doesn't count because you're trying to, I feel like you're trying to get me on the word decoy.
Well, no, I'm trying to just establish facts so that there's no ambiguity and you can't equivocate. Equivocation is when you use a term loosely so that you can move between two separate meanings of it. So I'm going to establish what is a decoy first and foremost. What is it?
Someone who would, or someone or something that would distract others from what is truly going on.
Got it. And so that would imply coordination.
I mean, I guess naturally, but yeah, I mean, I guess you would say yes. So
then what you're actually saying is that there's coordination between Tyler Robinson and the decoy.
Okay, what is the name? What word would you prefer that I use then, if not decoy?
Well, in this particular case, I don't know why you're even using the word unless you're just implying that there's coordination between whoever these alleged assassins are and this gentleman. Is that the case or not?
Maybe we can use the word distraction.
Okay, but that would also imply that there's coordination. I mean, do you think he just was doing this for funsies? Like he was just like, yay, I did this? Or do you think that he was coordinating with other people to play his part? That's the question.
I would say, given his behavior, it seems pretty obvious he was acting as a decoy or a distraction from what was actually going on.
Therefore, he was coordinating with whoever these other assassins are.
Wasn't it? So I kind of lost track on the specifics of what they were saying there. But this guy in particular, wasn't this guy involved in several other like viral moments over the years, which is kind of crazy? And again, that leads me to like go, that's where you've got some substance right there. You've got some substance on that, but all the other shit that you add to this means you lose credibility. It's crazy, man. Drinky for 50 says, do you believe Lee Harvey Oswald took the shot? Just another Israel first. You believe Jack Rubenstein? I don't think that has anything to do with this. These two things are completely different. The problem is not that people are questioning whether Tyler Robinson took the shot. The problem is that the same people that are alleging that Tyler Robinson was not responsible are the same people that are making up the most ridiculous claims we have ever heard about all of this shit. And at some point in time, if you're just going to spew ridiculous bullshit, you're going to be mocked and shamed for that. If your one focus is, there's some questions around Tyler Robinson, and I want to ask some certain questions in respect to this, and I have this point and that point and that point, that's a good conversation to have. When your conversation is, I have some questions about Tyler Robinson, I also think that Charlie Kirk was controlling the entire GOP, and he had control of everything, and if he was still here, we wouldn't be doing any of this. But at the same time, I believe that Charlie Kirk was controlled by everyone around him, and he was being used by everyone around him. Wait a minute. So Charlie Kirk was in control of the GOP and controlling Trump, but at the same time, he was controlled by everyone around him because everyone around him was a snake. And then you're going to tell me that Charlie Kirk, the man that you love and respect and was so on point and was so smart, was actually just being used by his wife. So he was the smartest guy in the world, but yet he was being used by Erica the whole time. None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. And then you're going to tell me Charlie Kirk, the guy that had all the funding in the world, by the way, all the funding in the world. And when I say all the funding in the world, I think you know who was funding him for the entirety of his career. Suddenly you find one comment where he kind of questioned something about Israel, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, he turned on the Jews, and that's what? Dude, if you think for one fucking second that Charlie Kirk was not being funded by the Jews, you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry. Holy shit. That motherfucker had a ton of funding. You don't run an organization like Turning Point USA and not have major funding. Major. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
Yes, I'm making that argument.
Yes. Okay, got it. So then there's some sort of coordination between whoever the conspirators are who killed Charlie Kirk and this gentleman. Is that correct?
I would make that argument, yes.
Great. Show me the proof.
He acted as a decoy in the immediate aftermath and said,
that's the restatement of the claim. I want proof of the claim that there was coordination between this gentleman and any other conspirators whatsoever. Anybody from TPUSA, anybody who's related to Tyler Robinson, anybody who you would consider part of said conspiracy. Where's your evidence of coordination between them and this gentleman?
So between George Zinn and Tyler Robinson?
Yeah. Or any of the alleged conspirators who you may name.
So what's interesting about the potential connection between Tyler Robinson and George Zinn is that it was found, I believe, that George Zinn was also convicted of, I believe, child pornography. So he was.
How is that a connection?
Because Tyler Robinson was a deep online furry looking at the same stuff.
Wait, hang on.
Andrew,
proof of coordination? No. Hang on, you're not walking away from that claim.
Okay.
You just got done telling me that your correlatory proof of coordination was that this gentleman was caught or in some ways related to CP, to online CP. What the fuck does that have to do with Tyler Robinson?
Because Tyler Robinson was also in deep online furry transgender chat rooms.
Hang on. Have you ever watched porn in your life?
I mean, it's been a very long time, but when I was younger,
he didn't want to answer that one. Okay, so this guy must be running. This guy must be one of the whole like, I'm a Christian conservative, and he did not want to answer that question. He was very, very caught off guard. I mean, no. I mean, there might have been one time back in college, I'm
furry transgender chat rooms.
Hang on. Have you ever watched porn in your life?
I mean, it's been a very long time, but when I was younger and I wasn't the best version of myself.
Sure.
God, the virtue signal.
Me too. We must be coordinating.
Oh!
Okay.
Breaking news! Zach Costello and Andrew Wilson coordinating. Dude, Wilson just set him up and destroyed him on that. Holy shit. Why would you argue? Why don't you debate with Andrew Wilson? He's just better than you.
Okay. You and I have never been together at an assassination where I was acting as a decoy to distract.
You keep on making the claim. You keep on making the claim that there's a decoy there, right? Which implies coordination, but you can't show any evidence or proofs whatsoever that there was any coordination between this gentleman and fucking anybody who you consider to be a conspirator. And the only evidence that you could come up with is, oh, one did an activity which was unrelated to the other activity, but somewhat related to the other activity. Therefore, they're linked. That is not evidence of anything. That is not even. Hang on. That is,
There is actually, though, to be fair to Zach, there are rumors. Now, again, I'm just asking questions here, but these two men in question that were linked to the assassination day, they also reportedly also both drank water. Just saying. I'm just saying. Hey, Mad Frog, you said it. You said it right after I said it, Mad Frog. Hey, it must be true.
that is not even logical, sir. Not even logical.
You don't think that him saying he was paid to do so, paid to be a decoy, is not evidence?
He suffers from extreme mental illness, like many leftists do, who go out.
Well, so, I mean, Andrew Wilson's dismissing it a lot. Listen, take all the bullshit out of this. I think that.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's Cam back at you again. Today I bring you a Van Halen lick that